Hi, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, not Wednesday for art class, but today is Blue Day in our Bethlehem Children's School Rainbow Countdown, so I wanted to teach you how to paint a blue bird. We're going to read a book first. I know it's a green bird, but I really like the paintings in this, especially the very beautiful blue sky. This book is called Little Green. Put your artist eyes on. Click, click, and look at the pictures while I read the story. It's Little Green by Keith Baker. There's a very beautiful picture. I see you out there, Little Green. Do you see the boy? He's looking through a window with some paints. In the flowers and in between. Zipping round and round and round. Boys and girls, pay careful attention to the white lines that the boy is drawing to show how the bird is flying. Jigging, jagging, down, up, down. Dip, dip, dipping, sip, sip, sipping. Looping in a curlicue. Do you see those soft curves? And the beautiful blue sky. Little Green, I still see you. Can you spy the bird in the corner? Going, coming, softly humming. Boys and girls, this is the picture we'll be looking at later to paint. Stopping, starting, dashing, darting. Zigging, zagging everywhere. Take a peek at those lines the artist used in white. I love when a book goes like this, up and down. Hovering up in the air. Do you see? There's the bird at the top. There's the flowers at the bottom. Coming for a closer view. The artist made it small, so it's far away. A little bigger, a little closer, a little bigger, a little closer, and much bigger for much closer. I wonder if you see me too. There's the boy set up at his window, looking at the bird. Kind of looks like the bird is looking at him, don't you think? Almost like he's waving. Do you see the lines that the artist used to show that the wings might be waving? Well, I've been busy watching you. And painting how you flew and flew. Boys and girls, were you surprised? I was expecting to see a painting of a bird, but what the boy did was paint all the different kinds of lines that the bird was flying in. I spy zigzag lines. I spy curlicues. What kinds of lines do you see? Now we're going to flip back to the page that has the beautiful purple flowers, boys and girls. Back to the purple page. Well, I guess we'll have to keep looking, boys and girls. Tell me to stop when you find the purple page, because tomorrow is Purple Day on our countdown. Where's there it is, purple tulips. We're going to do a painting with a bird above some flowers and the flowers growing up. I think I'm going to set it right there. Now, today we're going to be painting with some acrylic paints, and I have white for mixing, lightish blue, darkish blue, purple, and a little bit of green for the stems and the leaves. The first thing I'm going to do, boys and girls, is paint the oval for the bird's body. An oval is like this. Here I go. I'm going to start with a flat brush and some blue paint. Are you ready? Down I go, painting my oval. It's kind of sideways. It also looks a little bit like a blue jelly bean. There we go. There's my blue oval. Do you see my blue oval? Now, I'm going to do a blue circle for the head, but that brush is a little bit too big, so I'm going to switch from my jar of brushes to a medium brush. Turns out it has a blue handle. I'm going to take just the smallest bit of white on my brush and going very carefully in the blue so as not to mix my blue up. I'm going to take a little bit of light blue. Ready? I'm going to mix some light blue. Here I go. Now I'm going to do the shape of a circle. Circle, circle. Can you hear my nice painting music in the background? When we have art class at school, I like to have painting music on. Now, boys and girls, you might notice that my blue of the head is a little bit lighter than the blue of the body. There you go. Can you see? There's my oval body. There's my circle head. Next, I'm going to do a wing. I think I'll switch back to my flat brush because flat brushes are really great for doing wings. Wings, boys and girls, are the shape of a triangle. Up, down. This time I'm going to use a little bit of my dark blue. I didn't wash the regular blue off my brush. Here I go, taking some dark blue. Ready? Triangle goes, start right here, up and up. I kind of used a little bit of a wiggly line. Take a little bit more of my dark blue and up, 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 up. I want my brush strokes to go in the same direction as the feathers. So I'm going up and up and up and up. I turn my brush around sometimes to get more paint. Up and up and up and up and up and oh, I want to get rid of that white. Here I go. Now, boys and girls, you remember this trick? I have a fork. Am I going to eat something now? Goodness, no. I'm going to use my fork for, what's that word for art? Texture. Here I go. It's not showing up very well, so I need a little bit thicker paint. I'm going to take some more of my light blue and a little smidge of my dark blue. Ready? I'm making the paint really thick. More light blue, more dark blue. Up, 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 up. You can even hear the paint on the paper. Now I'll try my fork and see if I can get some, oh, beautiful lines for the feathers on this wing of my bluebird. Do you hear that, boys and girls? That's my fork making some texture. Now, this wing is very close to the head, so I need to make it not too light blue and not too dark blue. I think I'm going to try this. I didn't wash my brush yet. There's my white paint. I'm going to take just the smallest bit of white and try that for this wing. This wing is a little bit smaller, boys and girls. So I have to be very careful. Also a triangle. Up, 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 up. Ready? And I'm wiggling my hand just a little to give it those little bumpy edges that a wing might have. Now, I think it's a little too light, so I'm going to take a little bit more of my dark blue. There it is. Then go, oh, perfect. I love that. Up, 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 up. And up, 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 up. I'm doing a triangle, boys and girls, but I have to be careful of the bird's circle head. So, going around his circle head, up, 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 up. Doing a little bit of a wiggly line. And you guessed it, my fork for texture. Oh, there go those feathery lines. That looks great. So far we've done 4 shapes. Are you ready? An oval, first shape. A circle, second shape. A big triangle, third shape. And a smaller, skinnier triangle, 4 shapes. Are you ready for what's next? I'm going to do the beak. Now I have some blue on my brush. Do we want a blue beak? I do not think so. I'm going to wash my brush. This is everybody's favorite part because it always turns the water a beautiful color. Right now it's blue. Tap, tap, tap. And of course, dry, dry, dry. Now I noticed, boys and girls, I did not pour some yellow, so hold on. Here's my yellow paint. Shake, shake. I'm going to pour just a small bit of yellow. Are you ready? My brush is nice and dry. I'm using the small one. Well, it's kind of medium. Here I go. A beak, boys and girls, is a very tiny, what shape? That's right, triangle. Very carefully. In, across. There's my yellow beak. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. 5. The very last thing that we'll paint for our bird, oh no, not the last one. The next thing is his tail. Do I want some yellow on his tail? No. Here I go. Rinse, rinse, rinse. If you guys were here, I would say, how many shapes do we have so far? 1 oval, 1 circle, 1, 2, 3 triangles, and his tail feathers are, you guessed it, a triangle. I think this time I'm going to use my flat brush again. I'm going to take some regular blue and maybe a smidge of white. Let's see how that looks. If you notice, I hardly messed up my white at all because I'll need it later. Ready? I start right where this wing meets the body, and I'm coming down in a line. Down, down, down. It's not a perfect triangle because it's attaching to his body. So you take your perfect triangle and open it up. Oh, it's about the length of my eyebrow. How about that? Down, down, down. And just like a regular triangle, you connect them. These are going to be wiggly lines. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of like the curly cues, but they don't make whole circles. Ready? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And you can imagine, what am I going to use for that T word texture? You got it, my fork. I'm going to take a smidge of white because sometimes when I find blue feathers on the ground, they have some white in them. Very careful so I don't mess up his bird body. I put some white in there. I might take a little bit of my dark blue and put that in too. Here I go, here I go. All right, are you ready? Here comes the fork. Following the lines of where the feathers would be. There we go, putting some texture in his tail feathers. Kind of following that line, how it attaches to his bird body. This one could go a little silly and crazy. That might be fun, but I think I want to follow the lines. There we go. There's my blue bird. Let's count the shapes again. I'll use my paintbrush. Ready? First was an oval. Next was a circle. A big triangle for his wing that's flying. A skinny big triangle for the wing that's over his head. And then a triangle for his tail feathers that's not perfect, but a little bit open. All right, what are we missing? You can't see anything. So I'm going to take, I forgot to put my black in here. Well, I don't have my black paint next to me, so I'm going to take a little bit of green on the end of my brush and a little bit of purple on the end of my brush and make an eyeball right here. One dot, one eyeball. Now our bird can see. All right, boys and girls, here comes the fun part. Now we can make our flowers. Do you see the flowers and the leaves? I'm going to take my flat brush and give it a bath. Flat brush and give it a bath. You know what? Before we do that, I think I'd like to take my fat brush. Do you remember this one? With these bristles, and do some smushing in the background for the sky. I'm taking some of my white and smush, 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 smush around my bird. Because if you notice in our book, boys and girls, there's sky all around our bird. Let me show you. Do you see? The sky is all around the bird and the flowers. There you go. And remember what we talked about at art class. When you give your picture a background, it makes the picture pop out. So now my bird won't be lost in white space. Although with all this white paint that I'm smushing, it looks like he's lost in space. But watch. I'm taking a little of my blue and smushing right on top to give a beautiful blue background. Smushing and smushing and smushing and smushing all around my bird. A smidge more blue, not a lot. Smush and smush, smush and smush. And it doesn't have to cover all of the white. It could be a little white left for clouds. Oh boy, I got a little bit of yellow on my brush and now it's getting a little green. Let's see. I think I should bring my color down a little more. I'm going to take some more white and keep smushing. Sometimes, boys and girls, when you're doing a painting, you can start with the background first and let it dry and then do your bird. Here I go. I'm bringing those colors down. A smidge more blue. Just a little. See how dark that is? Do, 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 do. Here I go. I have hardly any paint on my brush right now because I don't really want to wait for it to dry, but I do want the background to be filled in. Here I go, here I go. If you're using oil pastels, you could use your oil pastels back and forth and back and forth. Okay, I'm done with this. I can let that sit in the water for now because now I'm back to my flat brush, but I notice it still has some paint. No good. Tap, 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 tap. And dry, dry, dry. Now I'm going to work on those tulips. Taking a little purple paint this time. And I might do a tulip like this. Up, 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 up. There's one tulip. I might do a tulip like this. Up, 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 up. They remind me of this, like your hands going like this. Up, 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 up. Ready? Here goes another one, maybe over here. Up, 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 up. Little curved lines going up, up, up. I think I might like to have one going almost off the page. Up. Oh, you might notice I taped my paper on my board so it doesn't get wrinkly. Up, 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 up. So a tulip is 4 lines up, kind of like this. Up, 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 up. And, do I want one more? Maybe one going right off the page over here. Up, 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 up. Fill that in. Let's count how many tulips I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tulips. I'm done with my flat brush. Switching to my medium brush again. Now I'm going to do the stems. What color will I use for the stems? Green. You're right. There's my green. Stems are just long lines, and they don't have to be in the same direction or the same. This one can come down this way. Get a little more green. This one, it looks like they're kind of blowing in the wind in that direction, boys and girls. It is a windy day outside. I see my trees blowing in the wind. Up, 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 up. So it looks like the artist, I guess that would be me, was painting this picture, and I'm not really looking at the ground. I'm looking at the tops of the flowers and up. And there's my last stem, stem number 5. When I look at the leaves, boys and girls, I see they have a bit of yellow. So here's my green. And the smallest bit of yellow, just a smidge, to do some leaves. Leaves come up, 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 and then they close like that. They're kind of like triangles also, boys and girls. There's one leaf, little yellow, little green. There's another leaf. I'm not washing my brush because I don't mind if the colors blend. Oh, but that one needs a point. Tulip leaves have points. So I have to close that really round triangle. There we go. Some leaves, little green, little yellow. Up, 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 up. Close. When you're doing the leaves, you want them to have little points, kind of like the bird wings. Up, 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 up. Close it up. Up, 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 up. My painting is almost done, boys and girls. I can hear my friend Connor Vaughn right now saying, "Can we just paint?" I miss you guys very much. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and if you do your paintings at home, please have Mom and Dad email me so I can see your beautiful work. And maybe when we come back to school, you could bring your work and we can put it on the walls at school. That would be really nice. Here I go. I'm almost done. Almost done, and you guys can get busy. Of course, since I'm on the video, you could shut it off and get right to work. Does your painting have to look like mine? Goodness, no. Your painting can look any way you want. I'm just sharing my ideas. All right, boys and girls. Well, Now, always be sure, don't leave your brushes in the water. That makes the bristles have a bad hair day. Wash them, and then dry them so they're ready for another day. There we go. There's your painting of a bluebird. I hope you enjoyed painting with me. I can't wait to see what you guys do. I miss you. Love you. Bye.